Today, April 7th, 2026. The President of the United States posted 4 words that have never been said by any world leader in modern history. A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. Yes, I am reading that a whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. The president of the most powerful military in the world just publicly threatened to destroy an entire country. Tonight, with a specific deadline. 8 p.m. Eastern Time. That is Trump's ultimatum to Iran. Reopen the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most critical oil shipping lanes, or face what Trump is calling the most devastating military attack since World War II. He has threatened to destroy Iran's power plants, its bridges, its oil wells, its desalination plants, the facilities that provide drinking water to millions of Iranian civilians. Legal experts from the United Nations, from Amnesty International, from universities across the world are calling these threats potential war crimes. And Iran? Iran rejected the ceasefire proposal. And right now, today, this hour, we are going to break down exactly what is happening, what is at stake, what is legal and what is not. And most critically, what this means for India, for oil prices, and for your daily life. To understand today's deadline, we need to quickly recap how we got here. Because this didn't start overnight. February 28, 2026, the United States and Israel launched coordinated military strikes against Iran. The stated goal: prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons and end Iranian support for proxy forces across the Middle East. Iran retaliated by closing the Strait of Hormuz, the narrow waterway between Iran and Oman through which approximately 20% of all the world's oil flows every single day. 20 million barrels of oil per day, gone. The closure sent global oil prices surging. Brent crude, which was around $70 per barrel before the war, is now at $109.77 per barrel, a 50% jump in just 38 days. Since then, the war has escalated. U.S. airstrikes have hit Karg Island, Iran's main oil export terminal. A U.S. pilot was shot down. Trump has issued multiple deadlines, all of which came and went with escalating threats. Today's deadline is different, Trump said, and I'm quoting directly, "This one is final." Let's be precise about what Trump is threatening, because the specifics matter enormously. Trump has publicly stated, on Truth Social and in press conferences, that if Iran does not reopen the Strait of Hormuz by his deadline, the United States will strike. Number 1. All of Iran's electric power generating plants. This means millions of Iranians lose electricity. Hospitals, water pumping systems, heating, food storage, all dark. Number 2. Iran's oil wells and Karg Island, Iran's primary oil export facility. This is an economic target designed to destroy Iran's oil revenue permanently. Number 3. All of Iran's bridges, infrastructure that connects the country and allows civilian movement. Iran is an arid country. Large parts of it receive almost no rainfall. Desalination plants, which convert seawater into drinkable water, are not military facilities. They are the primary source of drinking water for millions of Iranian civilians. Destroying them would not hurt Iran's military. It would cause a humanitarian catastrophe. Mass thirst, disease, death, not from bombs, but from dehydration. Trump was asked directly, "Are you concerned about committing war crimes?" His answer, quote, "Not at all." So what has Iran said? Iran has put forward a 10-point counter-proposal. Their conditions include a permanent end to all military conflicts in the region, not just a temporary pause. A formal protocol for safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz. The complete lifting of all international sanctions on Iran. And a commitment to rebuilding what the war has destroyed. Iran's 10-point proposal wants permanent peace, not ceasefire. Trump called Iran's proposal significant, his word, but said it was not good enough. He specifically rejected any proposal that does not immediately reopen the strait. Iran's position is clear. They will not accept a 45-day temporary ceasefire that leaves the fundamental situation unchanged. They want a complete, permanent resolution, or nothing. And in a dramatic move on the ground, Iranian civilians have formed human chains around power plants across the country. Thousands of people standing between their country's infrastructure and American bombs. A visual message to the world. If you bomb these, you bomb us. Now let's talk directly to every Shadow Post viewer in India. Because this is not a distant war. This is hitting your wallet today. India. 80% of oil imports come through Strait of Hormuz. India imports over 80% of its crude oil. And a massive portion of that, from Saudi Arabia, UAE, Iraq, Kuwait, travels through the Strait of Hormuz. The strait has been closed since February 28th. India has been managing through emergency diversions, strategic reserves, and the US granted waiver to buy some Russian oil in transit. But here is the brutal arithmetic. Oil at $110 per barrel means every Indian who drives a car, runs a generator, cooks with LPG, or buys vegetables transported by diesel truck, is paying more. Every day the strait stays closed, India's import bill grows by hundreds of millions of dollars. Oil at $110 per barrel, up 50% since war started February 28th. The rupee has already fallen to a record low of 94.7 rupees to the dollar. India invoked emergency powers to redirect LPG supplies. Airlines are dealing with surging jet fuel costs. If tonight's deadline passes without a deal, and the US launches the most devastating attack Trump has promised, oil will not stay at $110. Analysts are already saying $130, possibly $150 per barrel in a worst-case scenario. India has 1.4 billion people who need fuel, food, and electricity. Every dollar on the oil price is a direct tax on every Indian household. This war, fought by America and Israel and Iran, is being paid for, in part, by the Indian middle class. And India is watching, quietly, carefully, trying to stay neutral between America, its strategic partner, and Iran, a neighbor with which India has deep historical ties and through whose territory India's trade corridor to Central Asia runs. So what actually happens when 8 p.m. Eastern Time arrives tonight? There are three scenarios. Scenario 1, Iran accepts a modified version of the deal. They signal willingness to allow partial Hormuz access as a confidence-building measure. Trump claims victory. A temporary ceasefire holds. Oil prices fall. This is what markets are desperately hoping for. Trump himself extended a previous deadline, suggesting he is not entirely closed to more negotiation. Scenario 2. Trump extends the deadline again. The negotiations are described as making progress. This has happened before. Trump said Iran's latest proposal was significant. That language suggests a deal is not impossible. Another extension buys time, but doesn't resolve anything and keeps oil prices elevated. Scenario 3. The deadline passes. No deal. And the United States launches strikes on Iranian civilian infrastructure. This is the catastrophic scenario. Iran has already said it will retaliate with everything it has. Karg Island attacks escalate. The strait remains closed or becomes even more dangerous. Regional allies like Hezbollah, the Houthis, and Iraqi militias activate. Oil prices spike to $130, $150. Global recession warnings become real. And India, sitting in the middle of all of this, faces the most severe economic shock in a decade. Oil at $150 equals global recession warning. Which scenario happens? Nobody knows. The next few hours will determine it. That is why this is the most watched news story on the planet right now. Right now, share this video. Because most people around you don't know what is happening tonight. And they should. Drop in the comments. Do you think a deal happens before 8 p.m.? Yes or no? I want to know what Shadow Post viewers think. This is Shadow Post. Stay informed. Stay ahead. Thank you for watching.